Hello, MC Knight here. Welcome to the Dragon's Lair. This is episode 32. So you can see after my death at the hands of skeletons at the skeleton archer, I've been building my levels back up and I'm back up to level 65. And so far the bone meal, I've run it and I'm starting to get quite a collection of bone meal. I did try running the tree farm, and for some reason or another, it just wasn't dropping TNT. I check it out and see if there's something that went wrong. Sometimes redstone glitches on the server. Anyway, this episode is going to be a little bit different because I am not really going to do any playing of Minecraft in this episode. I'm not going to build any farms. I'm not going to build any structures. I am not going to mine. I wanted to talk to you a few moments about a couple things. So, I'm not sure if you're like me, but I started playing this game almost 10 years ago. And I got to tell you that I'm in love with this game. I'm in love with the blocks that you can put down. I'm in love with the crops. I enjoy thoroughly all the things that you can create and the things that you can repair. You can disenchant things. You can take certain blocks and stick them in and make other blocks in certain things. There's just so much that you can do in this game. And I just don't ever find it boring because there's always something to do. So I know that many players play different ways. Some people actually like to go into a world in creative and just start building buildings and seeing what all they can construct, and that's fine. There's some people that like to play and go and they go into different areas where they can have PvP. There's some people that they just really like to build farms and be able to collect things from it. There's some people that are builders and they play survival, but they really are, intent on building their world up and seeing what they can do. So one thing that I've learned in the 10 years that I've played Minecraft is I don't think there's really any wrong way to play Minecraft. But, well, I'm just not 100% certain that I totally agree with that at this point. So, I recorded a short clip, and I'm going to explain to you what happened. I told you at the end of the last video I was going to explain what happened on the server, and that's what this video is about. I want to explain to you what happened, and I just kind of let you know what happened, steps I took to correct everything, and ways that you can help yourself if you play on a server. So I recorded when I logged into this world, and so you can see that I'm logging in, and every time I log in, I am standing pretty much right about like this. And the reason that I do that is because this is a server, it is online. I remember the first time I played in a world that was online, I was on a realm. And I remember it was daytime, and I logged off. And I expected the next time that I logged on, it would be daytime, and I logged on again, and it was night. And I couldn't figure out what was happening. And it took me the longest time. Sometimes I'm very slow with things. But it took me the longest time until I realized that in an online game, in an online world, the clock never stops. And so I, to kind of validate that point, what I'm going to do is, you can see here that the clock says 12:58. So I'm going to log off. It's now 13:03. So I log off, and I'm going to wait, just maybe, 10, 15, 20 seconds or so, just long enough so you can see that that clock is going to advance. So now you can see we're now at 13:30. So that clock did not stop. And that's how it is when you're playing in an online world. The clock never stops. So I always log off right at the bed so that if I log on and it's nighttime, I can sleep right away. I try my best to prevent mobs as much as possible. Rapid Sphinx is very good at dealing with mobs. I try to avoid them. I am much more a player that, if you had not noticed, I like building farms and building buildings. I one of my favorite things is to set up a villager trading hall and be able to trade with villagers, and I get books and emeralds and other items from the villagers that you can trade with. So that is kind of what my specialty is, I guess. So anyway, the reason I showed you this is because I had started recording the bone meal farm video before I think I had gone over and I found the cave, and it was after I died, and I got my stuff and went back and forgot to take a chest with me. And so I came back, and I was getting ready to go back over there again, and I'd run out of time for that day, and so instead of taking off and flying over to the cave, I came back in, I went right here, and I logged off. So I don't know if it was the next day or a couple days later, I logged on, and I expected to land right here, right in front of my bed. And when I logged in, right away I started falling. And I fell down probably maybe about, I'd say maybe 10 blocks. And I'm looking up, and I was inside my house, and it was all destroyed, and I had no idea what happened. And then I started taking damage, and I realized there was a wither up above me, and I was taking damage. So I quick logged off because I wasn't sure what was going on, and I thought maybe either Ethy or Rapid Sphinx spawned a wither, and it got loose and was creating havoc. And so I was trying to think for a moment what I wanted to do. And so after I thought a little bit, I thought, okay, I almost always have rockets in my hot bar. And if I don't, I always have rockets in my inventory. And so I thought, well, I'll log on and I can quick fly away. So I logged on, and I was trying to keep from dying. So I logged on, and I quick flew away, and I flew over this direction quite a bit, and then I made my way back. I actually went into creative mode so that I could see just exactly what was going on. And pretty much everything here was destroyed. The sorting system was pretty much wiped out. A large part of the Coliseum was gone. The sugarcane farm was all messed up. The villager trading hall, the roof had a whole bunch of holes in it. And in creative mode, I went into the villager trading hall, and there were no villagers left. There were a few zombie villagers, and just everything was destroyed. And I got to tell you, I was heartbroken. As I said, I love playing this game, and my objective and goal when I am in a world is I want to create and make something that's enjoyable for me, and that I can create videos to put on YouTube. And honestly, I don't care if there's 5 people that view my videos or 5,000. I still enjoy very much doing it. And so um, I started thinking, what am I going to do and how am I going to fix this problem? And I'm going to take you now to the Apex website where our server is located. So this is our server's page. And if you go here to backups, you'll see that there is a backup here that's always ready. My first thought is okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here to the backup, and I'm going to hit this button right here that says restore. And then the world's going to be back to where it was. So I hit restore. It took a little bit of time. I ended up getting the website or the server back up, and I logged back into Minecraft, and everything was still the same. And I thought, well, what in the world happened? So I went back to the server, and I went back to the backups again, and I looked at the date and time, and I guess that day I must have had the worst luck in the world, because from the time that I logged on the first time until I went in and hit restore, the website did a backup. And so now the only backup that I had was of the destroyed world. So the other thing that I did was I thought, well, I'm going to go into player history, and I wanted to look at Ethy's name. And you can see even here, Ethy has not been online on our server for quite some time. And then I looked at Rapid Sphinx, and at that time he hadn't logged on for a while. And I thought, well, neither of them logged on and did this. And that was when I noticed 2 names on here that I didn't recognize. Creeping. Or no, you know what? No, that one is not it. I'm sorry. It was these 2 names right here. Oaklesman and Pelophagus? Very weird names. I'm sure they probably didn't use the names that they normally use in Minecraft. But it was on 9/14 that this happened. And so these 2 right here logged on, and these 2 here are the ones that destroyed my world. So now I knew what happened, but I was still left with the dilemma of how am I going to fix this? And that was when I remembered that I had recently done a backup when we switched to 1.21. And so I went in here. I think this is, actually no, this is not. And it was right here. So I took this file and I was like, okay, I can restore the world with this file here. And so I ended up going into MCA Selector. I opened up the world that I had downloaded, and so I ended up going to this area right here, and I started looking at what region it was, and I ended up copying. It was 4, -1, and I actually thought I had collected 2 regions. I thought it was, and I think I did 4, 0. But anyway, I took those 2 regions. I went back to the server, and then I was able to go into here, and in here to the region, and then all my files were in here. And what I did was I took 4, 0 and 4, -1 and replaced them with the other files. And then I went in again under creative and logged back on to Minecraft. And fortunately, this is what I saw. Now, I did have some shulker boxes sitting upstairs that were not in the backup that I did. So I did lose some things. I also had done some more work to the sorting system. I had started placing chests all the way around up on the top here, because I know if you look at this point, I only have this little bit that's open anymore, and there's still a number of items that I haven't even put in here. I haven't even started putting in plant life or anything from organic. So I know that I need to put another row of chests up at the top. So I had done that. As you can see, that's gone. The other thing was, if you remember, I had done an episode about using the auto crafter, and I had put an auto crafter here for the sugarcane farm, and well, I'm back to the way it was originally, and so that's gone. Also, what I did over for the kelp farm, that auto crafter is gone. And there's just a few things here and there that I did that basically I lost it. So I'm going to show you just a short video. Basically, I thought I had recorded a whole bunch more. Just to let you know also, I did fly over to Ethy's base, and everything looked the way it should be. Nothing was destroyed there, as far as I know. And I went back to the island at spawn. They did mess with the iron farm. However, I was able to repair everything. Now, the only thing about it was there was a whole bunch of iron blocks in there and some bone meal that was gone. And, well, it is what it is. And the slime farm was also damaged a slight amount, and I repaired everything. So all of those things were okay. In the nether, they apparently had gone to the gold farm, but the only thing they did was they poured out some lava, and that I just quickly got rid of. So everything there is good. So I still need to redo the auto crafter for the sugarcane farm and the kelp farm at some point, and I still want to add it for the bee farm and the bamboo farm. So let me show you this video real quick, and you'll be able to see some of the damage that was done to my base, and you see that I went ahead and went in, and the first thing I did was re-added whitelisting. So this will prevent anybody from getting on the server again and doing any damage. At least it's the best that I can do to prevent that. When I got done doing the whitelisting, then I went ahead and I was in creative mode, and so then I flew over. The Wither had made its way over to the pillager outpost and was um, quite taken in by the pillagers, and so I ended up. It took me a little bit, but I ended up destroying the Wither. And once that was done, that was when I took away all this here, and then put the backup files in to replace this. And so my suggestion to you is if you play on a server, or if you have a server, make sure you've got whitelisting on. So I'll tell you what happened when we first started the server. When we were on the other world, we had something similar happen. Fortunately, we were able to do a backup, and we only lost like a day's worth of advancements, and everything was good. When we went to start this world, my thought right away was we have to do whitelisting, and I had whitelisting turned on. And then for a period of time, somebody that that Rapid Sphinx and I both knew wanted to join the world. That person was having a lot of trouble getting onto the world, and it kept giving the message, "You are not whitelisted." And I thought I was doing something wrong, and so I just ended up turning whitelisting off so that person could get on. And I guess I had the thought at the time that everything's going to be okay. And then time elapsed, and I just totally forgot that I turned it off and never turned it back on again. And I was talking to Rapid Sphinx after I saw all the damage, and I said, well, I thought I had whitelisting on, and then we started talking about it. He reminded me of when I turned it off. And so, of course, I turned the whitelisting back on, added Ethy, Rapid Sphinx, and myself so that we could get on the server. And the three of us are the only ones that can get on this server at this time. So if you have a server, or if you play on a server, I strongly suggest that if you're the owner, that you turn whitelisting on if you don't have it on. If you are not the owner, please talk to the person that is in charge of the server and get them to turn whitelisting on, because it is very discouraging when you log on and everything that you've created has been destroyed. I hope that you found this video educational, and I hope that you never have to go through something like this. I hope you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you. I am going to end the video here. I will catch you next time, and until then, I'm MC Knight.